Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dungeons & Dragons: The Second Age.
Woo!
Yeehaw.
The saddest woos.
It's
We
been
are
a
a group of
little
mature
while
adults.
since we've last played,
A little
so
while.
yeah, we had to break for personal reasons, but we're back,
Hooray.
and yeah, so before we get started, does anybody want to give some feedback on what happened last time?
Well, we entered the very pleasant little town. I can't remember what it's called now. This is an excellent
Maple
start.
New
New Maple Leaf. Entered the beautiful little town of New Maple Leaf, which seems to have a population of 3, from what we saw.
Yeah.
An old farming couple and a woman who had retreated to the recluse away from a busy family to
Look at Arya.
hit on
Before
Arya
was me, yeah.
and write a history book.
Yep.
Tall, dark, and brooding. Excellent. That's exactly her type. We didn't stick around long. We just grabbed some supplies, asked her if she knew anything about the Wraith class. Of course she didn't, and moved on. And so we had more and more hex crawls with some excellent adventures. Such notable adventures include fighting an owl bear, fighting a troop of gnolls who got obliterated, and
Meeting dryads.
Yep, we found some dryads.
They're very
and-
nice.
We also met a Satia who tried to troll us out of priceless artifacts using magic because he was a
Well,
prick.
not priceless artifact. He tried to troll you out of exactly 50
Priceless
gold worth of artifact.
Priceless gold masks for the Ferrous. Yeah, it was like 50 gold. And yeah, we stopped just before we reached a big, imposing elven fortress on the way to Argentland,
Yes.
which is about 2 days travel away.
Yes.
Or just one
Um,
day, wasn't it? If we pushed ourselves.
Oh yeah, if we pushed ourselves to
Yeah.
the exhaustion, we could do it in a single day.
And
Or we could stop like 6 miles from the city walls.
as people may have noticed from the patch notes, they all hit level 5 at the end of last session, so they've all
Ding,
leveled up.
ding,
Wahey!
ding, ding.
You
We
have
did it.
Resurrect, Teleporting Dragons, Counterspell.
Although Resurrect isn't prepared, and I don't have 300 gold's worth of diamonds.
Yeah,
So don't go throwing yourself recklessly headfirst into danger. Cough, Arya, cough.
Excuse me. I don't throw
um,
myself into reckless danger. Danger finds me.
We've also done some
Of course.
some fixing of things that I've either had pointed out to me or noticed myself we've been making mistakes. I'd just like to, before I get started, I want to sort of encourage the people who are pointing out these mistakes to me. Like, if you're pointing out mistakes on Twitter and things, I am noticing them. It's just sometimes that a session gets played before people have watched the video, and then there gets like a gap of session that
Yeah.
where I don't fix it. I do notice that you guys are tweeting me and writing on the YouTube video and telling me that I'm making these mistakes.
And if it was
But-
one of you guys who nerfed my spiritual weapon, why would you do that to me? It wasn't OP.
Yeah,
There's
no,
nothing wrong with my spiritual weapon.
that was one that I actually, at the end of last session, I was like, I haven't actually read the rules for spiritual weapon. I don't actually know what spiritual weapon is capable of, so I actually bothered to look at the rules.
And it got nerfed.
Nerf.
Which is so
Yeah.
sad.
Anyway,
No more cleaving owlbears' faces in half.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but
Well, yeah,
the
it might still.
the
but
last
no
place
flashing
you
bonus.
guys ended was on the banks of the river. Yeah, basically you were beginning to make your last. The sun was sort of beginning to make its way down towards the edge of the tree line and begin to set. Just as you were completing your journey towards Stormsiege. And basically, like as you make your way across the small bridge that runs across the breadth of the river, you guys actually notice, sort of peeking over the tips of the nearby trees, is you can see that there is a fortress. And as you move closer, you can see that the the nearby terrain forms almost like a bowl of lowland that's full of sort of scrub bushes, and the more towards the center of the bowl you get, the more and more regimented the fields become, and the nearby landscape is more sculpted until it leads basically towards the center to a very imposing looking First Age fortress.
Oh wow.
Classy. How impressive is the stonework?
With its own.
Oh,
How
wow.
impressive is the stonework? I don't know. Why don't you roll me a history check?
Cool. I get advantage.
Do you get advantage?
Don't even need it.
Don't even need it.
Wow.
Yeah, this even by the standards of dwarven craftsmanship is impressive. You couldn't even tell that this was made of blocks from a distance. It looks like it just is carved out of basically like a pillar of marble, even though that doesn't really make much sense.
That'd be a big ass chunk of marble.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, as you approach, you notice there's one long winding path through the fields, and basically on either side of the path leading towards basically the portcullis gate in the walls, there are huge, tall, almost like hedge mazes that surround this place, which is a little bizarre.
Who wants to bet they're sentient?
Maybe that's why this is an impregnable fortress, because it's a fucking maze just to get to the battle. Just half the attacking forces get lost in a fucking maze.
We can just do the old hand on the right side, on the right wall trick.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Well,
Or we could do the whole "you have a magic broom."
to get to the
Nice.
fortress, you don't need to. There is a path straight to the gate of the fortress.
Alright, cool.
Wow.
It is the area surrounding it is hedge maze.
I still think it's sentient, but
Chill out, Luka.
look.
Take a
man,
chill pill.
You don't fuck with sentient plants.
Get off the crazy pills and get on the chill pills.
This episode brought to you by Crazy Pills.
Sponsored.
Crazy pills.
Anyway,
Moving
Anyway,
on.
indeed.
yeah.
So yeah, you guys. I presume you guys just walk up towards the gate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, basically, as you approach the fortress, it begins to sort of rise up above you, and as you sort of look up, you can see that this whole fortress is fully manned, fully staffed. There, like on almost every level, there are guards stationed on the walls. They many of them sort of watch you approach. None of them seem to particularly like draw their weapons, but they are sort of regarding you as you approach. And as you get closer, you basically notice that the gatehouse in front of you, the gate is closed, and manning the gatehouse is about maybe 8 or 9 figures, basically in golden plate armor, wielding enormous halberds.
Shit.
Shit.
Those of you who, well, no, you can all roll me history checks, but those of you who are of Fey descent, roll me. You can roll it with a bonus, I guess. No, make it advantage.
Oh, thank God for advantage.
Oh my god, Grim!
Shit.
I know my
Nice.
military stuff.
So do I, apparently.
Yeah.
21. That's even better.
That is, yeah. All of you, in either in your military professions, in your background, upbringing, or in your lore, know that these soldiers are basically they're known as the Storm Guard, and basically they are the elite of the elite of the Elven fighting force. And they have a long and varied history. And they basically function as almost like shock troops for the Elven army, because the Elven army tends to favour sort of hit and run tactics using rangers and a skirmishing line. And Grim, especially, you've studied Elven battle tactics. The Stormguard are basically they are the hammer that strikes the anvil of the rest of the army. They punch through defense lines. They're capable of taking on armies of maybe like even twice or 3 times their size due to their weapon strength and prowess. Suffice it to say that they're fairly intimidating, and having 8 of them standing in front of you is sort of like, whoa, okay.
Oh, it's an impressive sight.
It's the first time Grim has ever been in awe of something that isn't Kelariis.
I mean, he was in awe of Arya's ass that one time, and
Oh yeah. Aside
I
from
feel like
that, then.
I feel like this happens a lot, actually.
Does it?
Mm.
Well, we can always make it happen more.
Just silently impressed.
Also, no, you're not getting to stare at Arya's ass more.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
I heard that.
Actually, on the subject of Kelariis, you actually
Asses.
you have a nugget of information that the rest of them don't have. And basically, the only reason that the Dragonborn are not considered to be like the ultimate fighting force in the world is because of elite military units like this.
Okay,
Because
interesting.
the Dragonborn would cream through any regular Elven army, but even the Dragonborn respect these guys militaristically.
Okay, that's interesting.
So maybe it's not just Kelariis that's OP. It's all the fucking Dragonborn.
I assume all these guys have a job.
Yes. Yeah. That's like asking if the SAS if they all have a job.
Do the members of the SAS have a job?
I should have brought business cards.
Wow.
These guys probably don't activate operate like the SAS though. Otherwise, like if they were on duty, they'd have beards down to their stomachs, and they wouldn't have washed for several days.
Yeah, no, they are an elite military outfit, but more in the more archaic sense of an elite military outfit.
Yeah, no special forces, just kind of super good regular forces.
Yeah, clad in the best gear that basically the
They can
military can
afford.
afford. Yeah. But yeah, there's 8 of these guys standing to attention in the gatehouse, sort of waiting for you guys to approach.
Well, just keep approaching.
The closer you get, one of them walks out towards you, and basically, you're maybe 60 feet away from the gate when you reach the person that's walked out in front of you. And without even removing helmet or anything, the figure basically just says name, rank, and intention.
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
Well, I guess I would know. I guess. Well, I state my name, business, and well, what do I do for rank?
You don't really have a rank.
Yes,
I guess state my job, my current
mm.
profession. I guess.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you could state your job title as your rank,
Yeah,
What's
I
the-
guess
yeah.
I'll do that.
and your intention.
Intention, passing through to the capital, or that's our intention.
Okay. Papers.
Oh dear.
What papers?
You have papers, Grim. Come on.
Oh wait, do you mean the papers for my? Okay, I thought we needed other papers.
You've got to prove
Yeah.
that you are who
Yeah,
you say
okay,
you are. I
I'll
guess.
I'll show my papers.
Unless he is referring to something else, in which case we're fucked.
Well, he seems to look over your documents, folds them up, hands them back to you, says, "Wait here," and walks off.
Alright,
Okay.
Well,
I'm just gonna stand there.
It's kind of a little bit uncomfortable. Sort of standing out here with what is essentially maybe 20 or 30 pairs of eyes watching you.
Sort of like Beast, just sort of like fiddling, looking around.
About 20 of those have got bows.
I'll be fine. Can I kind of like tap V on the arm and just give her a smile to try and make her feel better? That's like comforting.
Yeah.
Vondal's gonna try and.
I'm just
comfort
gonna be like, what's my rank?
You don't really have one.
What do I do?
It'll be okay. Just say you're with us. You're just a traveler. That is your rank.
You're just
Unranked,
unranked.
yeah.
Unranked. There you go. That's your rank. Your rank is unranked.
Okay.
Filthy
You're just a
casuals in my mercenary outfit.
For fuck's sake!
It's more likely than you think.
Oh god.
If anyone's the filthy casual, it's me. I'm the only one who's never played fucking competitive.
Anyway. You are left standing outside for maybe 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It's very, very nerve-wracking.
I mean, it could be worse. Could be stood to attention in a field ground for 2 hours.
Yeah, and after those 10 minutes, the figure comes back from basically the gatehouse. Sort of pauses for a moment before approaching you, and basically says, the master of the hall has agreed to grant you passage on one condition. He would like to meet with you before you leave.
Very well. We will accept these terms.
Can I say, like, thank you and salute him in Elvish? Or say thank you in Elvish and salute him.
He turns his helmeted head towards you. You assume stares at you because you can't really see his face. Says nothing and turns away.
Well, that's possibly the best reaction yet.
Okay, guys, as we get in here, try and behave.
Nobody touch anything.
Nobody touch anything.
I feel like this.
We didn't
feel
need
like
to
this-
introduce ourselves.
Nope.
yeah, alright.
Okay, cool. Where was Grim?
Yeah, they're evidently just assuming that we're with him.
Love how.
It works.
Yeah.
In that case, we're possibly the weirdest looking mercenary company they have ever seen.
Yep.
Look,
Yeah.
we're multicultural.
We're inclusive here. We have an inclusive.
All-inclusive mercenary company.
We don't discriminate.
I can't believe.
Anyway.
The armored figure basically takes you. I don't know how much you guys can really see of this thing, but he basically leads you in through the gate, and you go around the area, and there's stairs up that take you to the next tier, and you go around and you climb up inside, and then you go up another tier, and you get up to the hall at the top.
So basically, we've walked our 30 miles before we're up there.
Yep.
Yeah, you walk quite a decent distance up that, and like you wonder how the guy in full plate armor is doing it on a regular sort of trip, but that's presumably
Every
why
10
he's
minutes.
why he's a military elite.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yes, you're basically led through these fairly military halls, and like as you climb up, you can see that every single square inch of this fortress is being used for military training or military provisioning and supply in some sense. Like this is a fully active military base. And for those of you who are militarily minded, this is state of the art facility. Like it's like wow, okay, cool. For the rest of you, it's sort of like everybody seems to be really busy and really in a hurry to get somewhere, and it's really impersonal.
Like, it's so efficient. It's glorious.
Where are the
Grim,
flowers?
Grim has basically died and gone to heaven at this
Yeah,
point.
Grim is in his element
Yep.
right now. V
Yep.
certainly not.
Like every time we walk around the corner, and I like stick my head like slightly back to just keep on watching what I was what I saw.
You know what this
before.
is? This is like where Vondal grew up, except even outside is covered in stone.
Yeah, you do notice, like, for an elven establishment, there is a significant lack of beauty other than the actual crafting of the fortress itself.
Well, good, because castles aren't there to look pretty.
Yeah.
Although knowing elves, they'd still find a way to do it.
We are famed for our beautiful architecture.
Yeah,
Shut up.
you've probably seen like evidence of first age architecture in the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like almost certainly like sort of first age architecture style, but you've never seen anything on this scale before, or that's built with this efficiency. Like it's layers within layers. It's like it's the perfect fortress.
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to bet that this fortress is going to be laid waste to in the future by some sort of exterior force that's not of this world?
Why would you say? Why do you say that? Like, why would you give him these ideas?
Look, if he has the goal to call it the perfect fortress, that's exactly what he has planned already.
Look,
It's ironic.
Do you want to second guess me all day? Do you want to play?
Yes, I want to play. So
But yes, yeah. The Stormguard soldier basically leads you in through these chambers. There's like a whole bunch of people running around. Basically, like the further you get into this hall, the less soldiers you see walking around, and the more sort of bureaucrats and sort of people in dress uniform rather than in soldier's armor you see. Until basically you are led to a small side chamber, and as the door swings wide, you basically find yourselves in a small council chamber where there's a large round table in the center. Seated at this table is basically an older-looking high elf. He's sort of got his beginning to sort of grey, and he's got quite visible lines of age on his face. Who seems to be talking to a shorter elf who looks. He's wearing a ceremonial leather armor, but he looks barely older than 50. So he's still basically a teenager in elven terms, like an early teenager at that. The soldier basically stops, and with a there's a great deal of flourish in the way he salutes, because when he walks, he's still holding this massive halberd, and he holds it in two hands in front of him most of the time. But when he salutes, he brings the halberd up like perfectly straight, salutes with one hand, brings his heels together in the ready position before putting his arm down and then holding the halberd like in front of him in a combat ready stance. And he says, Master Gilvus, the travellers you requested. At which point, the young elf that you see at the table, the one who looks barely older than 50, stands up, smiles at you guys, and sort of makes a hand gesture for you to come over.
Well, I guess we walk over and I salute him when we're there.
Yeah, like as you walk over, he says to the soldier, he says, "Thank you, Sam. You may leave." At which point the soldier salutes again and walks out. And as you walk up, you salute him and he says, "Oh, please, there's no need for that formality. It's
Very well. You requested our presence?
He nods and says, "Please, be seated. I believe some introductions are in order. First of all, and he basically indicates the the older-looking man next to him and says, "This is my advisor. What is his name? Atreyan Silverleaf. And I of course am Gilvas Stormwarden. I am the master here at Stormsiege." To all of you, that's kind of a little bit surprising, because a teenage boy just introduced himself as the master of the hall to you, basically.
Yeah?
Oh, I can
I feel a little bit more at ease. I was expecting like some old stern man, and it's like a child.
show him to you.
You're the only one who's at ease. The rest of us are looking at him like,
Oh my god.
right.
He's so young.
Oh my god.
He's
He's
like
beautiful.
a small
Look at his
bab.
fucking hair.
Where's his diaper?
Wow.
God.
You're
He's not
tinier
that-
than him, Grim.
Yeah, you are younger than him.
Look.
Probably.
It's all relative.
In frame of reference, Arya, when you left home, you were probably at least 20 years older than him.
Awkward.
And you left home at a young age.
Yeah, I did.
I left home at the same age as him, but I'm a dwarf.
Yes. He lives quite a lot longer than you would.
Yeah.
But yes. What is your reaction to a 15-year-old boy introducing himself? Well, more like
I think-
more like 13-year-old actually
I'm just
introducing himself.
looking at
as...
him a bit funny. Like, you know when you like look at someone sideways a bit, like someone squinting at them, like, right. I'm just looking at him like that, I guess.
Arya looks seriously unimpressed because
Oh.
she's like, oh my god.
I am
He
just,
is like all smiles. She's just like, that's adorable.
I
But
just
Kelariis is, like,
try.
sup-
Go ahead.
No, go.
Grim just tries to treat him like every other superior, because he must be there for a reason.
Yeah, Kelariis is surprised but isn't going to treat him any differently.
Yeah. You perform introductions, and he says, my advisors tell me that you're here passing through.
Yes.
Presumably you are all headed to the capital.
Yes, we are.
He says, well, I'm afraid I can offer you little in the way of comforts. We are a military base after all. But I'm afraid I must ask a favour of you.
Oh dear, here it comes.
Here we go.
Quest time!
Yeah.
What might this favor be?
He looks to his advisor, who is looking at him quizzically, and he sort of says, "Forgive me, Master Silverleaf. You may go. This is something of a personal nature." And the aide sort of looks at him and says, "As you wish, sir," and disappears off. And he says, "I have a message that must reach an acquaintance of mine in the government quarter in the capital. It must go with the utmost speed, and it must go with the utmost privacy."
So I'm gonna give it to you random travelers that I just met, and you're gonna do that for me.
Well, to be fair, he knows we're from. At least I am from a mercenary outfit, so.
And let's be honest, he's gonna give it in a seal, and if that gets so whoever he gives it to can.
I mean,
be
you're
certain
perfectly
whether
welcome to
it's-
question why he's giving it to you as complete strangers.
Yeah, that too.
Go, Arya, do it.
Yeah, I'm
You know you
literally gonna
fucking
be
want
like-
to.
I'm gonna be like, if it's a matter of such secrecy, I feel that giving it to three or how many of those are there?
Five.
Five.
Wow.
Why are you turning into King Arthur from Monty Python? Learn the difference between 3 and 5, for God's sake.
To 5 perfect strangers seems like a bad idea.
He looks at you and there's a look that goes across his face, sort of, that is almost like. It starts with "How dare you question me," and then it's sort of like, "Actually, no, you're right."
Yeah, 'cause you're
and
a
he
fucking
says,
child.
"Wow, rude." He basically looks at you and says, "To be honest, I do not trust anyone else here in this fortress to deliver it. They all have. They're either all tied down with duty, or they are the very people that I have been reasoning with for ages, and they will. They merely dismiss my concerns. They see me as nothing more than a child."
Very well.
Well, you are a child.
Fee.
Classic
So-
me. There it is.
Like,
dear.
Okay.
This is
well,
gonna go excellent.
before anything else, I just said fee, and then I'm sure he's here because he's earned the right to be here. And then I continue by saying I'm sure we could deliver this message for you. But it would be nice if you could give us the details on how to contact and that kind of stuff. If we're gonna do it.
He says yes, certainly. And he produces basically from his his file on the table that he's got. He basically pulls like an envelope out, and you can see that basically in Elvish it's got an address on it. And he says the letter is addressed the government quarter, and the building in question is easy enough to find.
Very well. And well, if we're gonna do this,
There we go.
a small favor, could we get like just a day's supplies of rations to bring along as compensation, so we can. I hope that wouldn't be too big of a problem.
He looks at you quizzically for a moment and says, before he sort of catches himself, and then he's sort of like, "Oh yes, of course." And he sort of goes over to the folder and starts pulling things out and says, "I'm afraid basically all of our provisioning and stock is accounted for, but I can potentially pull some strings to ensure that you're fed and have a place to stay for this evening."
That would be great.
At which point he sort of he goes to a small alcove in the corner, and basically there's like a series of threads that are hanging from one wall, and he pulls one of them, and nothing seems to happen. But no less than maybe like a minute later, basically probably like a middle-aged elf comes in, basically in sort of like a servant's uniform, and she bows to Gilvis and says, "You rang, Master. How can I help?" And he basically says, "Can you make sure that these travellers have a place to stay in one of the guest rooms, and that they are fed?" And she nods and says, "Certainly." And she waits outside for you guys. And Gilva says, "I understand that me asking this of you is a peculiar request, and I'm sorry that I can't explain more in detail to you, but I have concerns that nobody else seems to take seriously, and I must ensure that this message reaches its destination."
I understand how important that can be. Don't worry. I will personally make sure it gets to the right people or person.
He nods and sort of indicates that you are free to leave.
Well, but where do we go?
We follow.
Follow
You-
the lady.
You
We
go
have
outside, at which point there's a servant girl waiting outside. Well, serving woman waiting outside for you, and she says, "Please follow me."
There we go.
Yeah, and she basically takes you through into a more the walls stop being so much chiseled marble stone and start to become more wood panelled rooms, and you get the feeling that you're sort of in almost like the Lord's quarters sort of thing. And you go past a couple of rooms where there's like banqueting hall tables and things, and there's like a gallery and stuff. And then eventually you get into a more secluded area, and there's basically a room that you actually no, it's probably there's 5 of you, so there's probably 4 rooms. Basically all in a corridor. Most of which are furnished with double beds, but one of them is furnished with 2 singles. And basically the servant girl says, these rooms are basically the guest quarters that the master uses to house guests. If you wish for anything, there is there's basically a washroom down the hall, and she basically points out like that there's the washroom, and there's if you go up a little ways, there's a room where they'll serve you some food. And sort of like if you need anything, just corner any one of the servants, and they'll try to accommodate you.
I continue.
Yeah, no, that's basically it.
Well, I assume we are restricted to to this area, basically.
Yeah, she says if you could restrict yourselves to this floor, the rest of the fortress is off limits and guarded.
Very well. It's good to know.
Grim,
Anybody?
I swear to God, if you try something stupid tonight.
What? Why would I try something stupid?
Because you've done stupid things in the past, and it makes me
I mean,
wary.
it wouldn't be unusual for you.
No,
Just saying.
not at all.
Wait, we have multiple rooms to sleep in, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. There's 4
good.
rooms.
There are 4 rooms with 5 beds.
Okay.
I was worried that we were going to be like,
Yeah.
there's only one room. What are you going to do with the rave shard, bitches?
Oh,
Yeah, there's 1 room with a double bed. One room with 2 single beds, and 3 rooms with a double bed each.
Okay.
Yeah, and these aren't like the rooms you stayed in Silverbrook Hall. These are like 30 square foot of room.
Wow.
Shit.
Massive fucking rooms.
They're proper, like, high-end guest quarters.
This is really weird to be, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time Vondal's been in a proper military establishment place in quite a while.
Nice.
It's also the first time, V, that you've been in a building where the windows don't open and you can't see trees when you look out of the window.
What the hell?
Probably the first place we've been in where the window is just a hole in the wall.
No, there was glass in the windows in Silverbrook Hall.
Yeah, but in castles, a window is just a hole in the wall. No fucking glass in a castle window.
Well,
This is the hall that's way above the actual fort. It's not like arrow slits or anything.
Ah, that's a shame.
Also, I gotta eat dinner in a few minutes. So.
Okay.
okay.
Well, yeah, if you guys want to just sort of roleplay until people have to go, because I don't want to start the next sort of section until.
Well, who's sleeping in what room? Because we do have the Wraith class
Yeah.
to worry about.
Me and whoever is holding the
guess-
Wraith class for the night. need to sleep
Well,
together.
I believe I was
I mean-
carrying the Wraith class again.
I mean, why does the person being with the race glass have to be in the room that
Yeah, I was
holds
gonna
two people?
Also,
That,
I
that
think
doesn't
I
make
have-
any sense because the least people that get
So
affected by
that
the race
so that
class is
Arya can
better.
keep an eye on. I thought.
Yeah, remember?
Oh
Why
yeah.
don't you just have the wraith class then?
No, but like the reason we needed someone to keep an eye out is because we needed to make sure we weren't being ambushed, and we're not getting ambushed in a
I mean,
fortress.
I would
Probably
still
not.
feel comfortable with me being around the Wraith class because I just don't want to lose it.
Yeah, I had it last. as
Also,
well,
who's going
by
to
the
take
way.
the wraith class?
So
I mean, I can. It's not a huge deal.
How about
Yeah, if you're worried about people
Well,
not
since we-
ambushing it, then you can just
Yeah, I'll
Have
just
it-
have it.
whatever single room you're in.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
and if that's the
Although-
case,
we do want to avoid giving it any power here because we don't want to piss off the local, well, military.
Well, that's the thing. I
Guys,
don't
have
know
to
if
go.
it'll.
I have to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, right now.
So yeah, see you in a bit.
Okay. Bye.
Right. In that case, we will take our break and we will resolve the dice rolls and things afterwards.
Okay.
So I will see you briefly.
Bye.